middle age and the sandwich generation, under pressure, the burden and how to overcome it. Hello everyone, and welcome to today's sharing session. Many of us, especially those in middle age, have probably heard of or are currently experiencing the feeling of being sandwiched between many responsibilities. It's when you're taking care of your aging parents while also raising growing children. This is what people call the sandwich generation. Today, we'll dive deeper into the pressures this generation faces every day. More importantly, we'll explore why self-care is not a luxury, but an essential need. Finally, we'll share specific strategies to help the sandwiched generation better manage stress and regain balance in their lives. Let's begin. Understanding the sandwich generation and their invisible burdens. So who exactly are the sandwich generation? And why do they face so much pressure? Let's find out. The term sandwich generation was coined by American sociologist Dorothy Miller to describe middle-aged adults, typically aged 35 to 54, who are simultaneously caring for aging parents and raising young or adolescent children. You can imagine them as the filling in a sandwich, squeezed between two layers, the older generation above and the younger generation below. While it may sound simple, the pressure is immense. It's not just a burden of time and energy, but also of finances and emotional well-being. According to a U.S. study, nearly half of people aged 40 to 50 have both parents over 65 and children needing care. Notably, around 15% of them provide financial support for both generations at the same time. What about in Vietnam? Although there are no specific statistics, Dr. Quoc Tu Hong from the Institute for Social Development Studies confirms this is a very common and almost inevitable reality. This is due to increasing life expectancy in Vietnam and the trend of smaller families. When a family has only one or two children, the responsibility of caring for elderly parents naturally falls more heavily on their shoulders. Another reality in Vietnam is that many elderly people do not have pensions or stable incomes. Government support is usually only available for those over 80, and even then, it's not enough to cover living costs. As a result, most elderly people rely on financial and emotional support from their children. The Vietnam National Report, An Aging Society, revealed a striking statistic. 64.4% of the elderly in Vietnam do not receive pensions or state support. This creates a massive financial burden on the working generation. It is predicted that after 2035, for every 4 working adults, there will be 3 dependents. This burden not only affects the current quality of life but also limits the sandwich generation's ability to prepare for their own retirement. Beyond time and money, many in this generation must make difficult career decisions. Some give up beloved jobs or turn down promotions just to have more time to care for aging parents or young children. All of this cumulative stress impacts every aspect of their lives. Marriages may suffer due to lack of time for each other or disagreements over family care responsibilities. Parent-child relationships can also be strained as stressed-out parents find it hard to be present and emotionally available. Friendships may fade due to lack of social time. More seriously, the physical and mental health of the sandwich generation is often severely worn down. They may feel constantly tired, exhausted, anxious, or even depressed, as they have little time or mental capacity to care for their own basic needs. In Vietnam, the burden is often amplified by traditional cultural values of filial piety, where children are expected to care for and honor their parents. While this is a beautiful tradition, it can also become a heavy emotional load, making individuals feel they must take on everything, even when they themselves are struggling. Associate Professor Nguyen Duc Loc, director of the Institute for Social Life Research, calls this a crisis of the soul, trying to be the pillar for others while feeling unanchored oneself. Self-care. a non-negotiable responsibility. So how can members of the sandwich generation find balance and care for themselves amid so many responsibilities? That's a tough question. For many caught between aging parents, young children, jobs, and social roles, self-care may seem like an unaffordable luxury. It's easy to neglect one's own needs, from basics like eating and sleeping well to maintaining friendships or hobbies. Over time, this can lead to feelings of isolation and disconnection, which only intensifies the pressure. However, mental health experts emphasize that prioritizing self-care is not selfish, it's a prerequisite to effectively caring for others. Dr. Jessica Stern, a psychologist at the University of Virginia, points out that parents need to consciously meet their own basic needs first: healthy eating, sufficient sleep, and regular physical activity. Maintaining connection with others is also crucial, whether that's a partner, close friend, coworker, or support group. This connection provides emotional strength and helps individuals feel less alone. Sometimes, simply sharing your story or hearing that others are going through similar challenges can be incredibly healing. Remember this important principle: you cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot care well for others if you're physically and emotionally depleted. So try to set aside even 30 minutes each day for yourself. Use that time to do anything that brings you peace and joy. Read a book, listen to music, take a walk, stretch, do yoga, or simply sit quietly and breathe. When you're well rested and calm, you'll have the energy and patience to care for your family with love and attention. Another way to ease the burden is to shift your perspective. Yes, being sandwiched between two generations can be exhausting, but it can also be a source of warmth. A multi-generational family can be a sanctuary in turbulent times. Caring for your parents is a way to honor them, and raising your children gives life deep meaning and joy. And if you've done your best but still feel overwhelmed, don't hesitate to seek help from mental health professionals. They have the tools and knowledge to support you, help you untangle inner knots, and guide you toward healthier ways of coping. Stress management strategies for the sandwich generation. So, what specific strategies can we use to cope with daily stress, especially for those in the sandwich generation? Here are a few practical suggestions. 1. Identify your stressors. Take a moment to sit down and be honest with yourself. What is causing you the most stress? Is it concerns about your parents' health? Challenges with your children's education or behavior? Financial strain? An overwhelming workload? Or tension in relationships? Clearly identifying the source of stress is the first step to managing it effectively. 2. Recognize how you currently cope. What do you usually do when you feel overwhelmed? Do you turn to sweets, alcohol, or smoking? Do you snap at loved ones? Do you withdraw and avoid the problem? Be honest about these coping mechanisms and ask yourself whether they truly help or just make things worse. Recognizing unhealthy responses is key to changing them. 3. Reorganize and ask for help. Learn to prioritize tasks. What needs to be done now? What can wait? What can someone else help with? Don't hesitate to ask for support from your spouse, siblings, or close friends. Even a little help can make a big difference. Consider which less important tasks can be postponed or simplified to avoid burnout. 4. Realign your values. Busy lives can leave us feeling lost and overwhelmed. Take time to reflect on what truly matters to you. Is it your family's health? Your children's development? Inner peace? Once you identify your core values, it becomes easier to allocate time and energy to what's meaningful and let go of what's not. 5. Practice positive self-care. Instead of unhealthy stress responses, cultivate healthier alternatives. Sleep and nutrition are your foundation. Aim for regular physical activity, even a quick walk, light yoga, or a dance class you enjoy can improve your mood. Avoid overworking. Learn to say no when needed. Don't forget to make time for hobbies like reading, gardening, or meditation to help your mind unwind. And importantly, share your feelings with someone you trust. 6. Seek professional support when needed. If the stress feels too much to bear and self-help strategies aren't enough, don't hesitate to reach out to a psychologist or therapist. They can offer a safe space to talk, help you understand the roots of your stress, and equip you with effective coping skills for long-term resilience. Conclusion: life in the sandwich generation is far from easy. The weight of multiple responsibilities is real. Managing stress is a continual journey that requires patience and effort. However, by understanding the burdens you carry, prioritizing self-care, and applying appropriate coping strategies, you can find balance and navigate this challenging chapter with strength and clarity. Remember, you are not alone, and seeking help when needed is a sign of strength, not weakness. Wishing you resilience, peace, and joy in your unique journey.